to the top 100 based on its technology, and one of those may be Pchain. Now, Pchain is something that I've got involved in, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to present to you why I personally like the Pchain. It's not financial advice, as I always say. It's just purely to let you know kind of what it is and give you an understanding of why this is such a good opportunity right now, particularly today that the market cap is like $44 million for something of this grand a scale. Now think about it, right? Pchain is quite a lot like Zilliqa, in fact having some better features than Zilliqa, and Zilliqa has become a $1.6 billion token, whereas Pchain is still at 44. So anyway, let's carry on. 44 million. So there we go. Let's carry on. So Pchain is essentially a rapid processing infrastructure for large dApps. Okay, what does that mean? Okay, so in blockchain, you have got two main types of transaction. You have got the payment transaction, and then you've got the software transaction. So, for something like Steemit, okay, when you are publishing audio, when you're publishing video, when you're publishing a blog, that is a software transaction, okay? Now, when I used to go onto Steemit and post a video, it would take about 20 minutes for the thing to upload. That is not a fast software transaction. And then you've got the payments transactions, okay? So when you're sending payment from one person to another, the consensus is agreed, the payment is sent over, the confirmations happen, and all that crap, right? Now that happens with something like Bitcoin. Bitcoin does about 3 to 7 transactions per second. 3 to 7 transactions per second. That's terrible, right? Now, for both of these, the software and the payment transaction, you need scale, you need speed. That is what Pchain is, basically rapid processing infrastructure, so that if you wanted something like Facebook to run on a blockchain, you could not use Ethereum because nothing would work. The Ethereum would break down. If you wanted to pay for Facebook ads, right, and you wanted to have that payment layer, right, Ethereum would break. It would have no chance of allowing both payment and software transactions on an app the scale of Facebook. Pchain is designed to use leverage to make something like Facebook work with no downtime. Okay, no downtime. So it's a super duper Ethereum, essentially. So what it uses is multi-layer sharding. If you don't know what sharding is basically, turning the blockchain into a production line, okay? One part is doing this, one part is doing that, one part is doing that, one part is doing that. So essentially it allows for transactions to be happening parallel, right? So you could have software and payment transactions happening in parallel rather than one block filling with transaction, and having to wait for that block to fill and go to the next one and blah, blah, blah. So it uses multi-layer sharding, essentially making a lot of the tasks happen very quickly. They utilize side chains and they have cross-chain protocol so that you've got these apps being able to scale no matter what payment structure, payment blockchain is used, payment from a particular blockchain like a Neo-based payment system or an Ethereum-based payment system. All of these can happen using Pchain. Now, if that doesn't excite you, I don't know what the hell does. Anyway, so they are led by an all-star team. They are led by Jeff Cao. Now, Jeff Cao was the China Ledger creator, the first blockchain in China. He's also the person that created the first blockchain patent in China. This is a guy who knows what he's talking about. He's one of the godfathers. He's like, if you think about the Godfather film, he is right up there as one of the godfathers in the blockchain industry. Now they've got some really super duper experienced people on their team, but this guy is the main man. Now they've already got an MVP that's been working and is demoed. Yeah, you can have a look at that demo on YouTube. You can have a look at the demo online on the Pchain website. So it's not as if it's an idea like a heterogeneous forest like with Zella, or a neurological blockchain impulse system that works like a brain with no MVP. There is an MVP already with Pchain. You can see how the Pchain system works, and it's demoed for you to have a look, and it looks magnificent. Now it's today a $44 million market cap. That's based on 357 million tokens out there in circulation and a 12.5 cent price. Oh, stupid. How is it that cheap? But it is that cheap, 12.5 cents today, which means to be the same Size that Zilliqa got to, 1.6 billion, it's got a times 36 just to get to Zilliqa, and that's not even blown yet, and this is better than Zilliqa. Times 36. Now, arguably, Pchain is superior to Zilliqa, to Quarkchain, because it almost encapsulates the best technologies of both, and yet is the cheapest. Now, from a negative perspective, its competition are blockchains and scalers. Okay, so obviously it's got Ethereum, it's got Neo, Zilliqa, Icon, Wanchain, all that lot. And then it's got the scaling solutions, the Raidens, the Trinities, and all that lot. And the Looms and the R-Chains. So it's got two sets of competitors. But having said that, the technology is magnificent. If you look at the white paper, which is a carefully crafted and very intelligently crafted white paper, you will see that the technology outclasses what is out there. So Pchain is megarific. So go back to my rating system. Team, 88%. 88%. They have got one of the key people in blockchain history, plus a very experienced and highly expertise team. Vision-wise, 85%. Vision-wise, I mark this down because of the level of competition, but actually this is superior in terms of the technology, which is a 93%. 93% technology. They have got a genius really working for them technology-wise.
Projects. That project is KindAds and the KindAds protocol by the Lead Chain Foundation. KindAds was built to create an efficient bridge between the publishers, advertisers, users, and the application providers. KindAds is focusing on creating an advertising platform without annoying pop-ups and banner ads. This is being done through the development of a decentralized push notification network and focusing on the onboarding of engaged sets of publishers and advertisers. They believe this is the most effective way to get the users, getting the publishers and advertisers on board first. So, the project has some big backing, and the advertising guru himself, Neil Patel, is a lead investor and advisor. Neil is one of the top influencers on the web, and Forbes considers him one of the top marketers in the world. Here's a short video of Neil explaining why KindAds is taking a strategic focus on the onboarding of publishers and advertisers.
I have this concept of if you try to get the normal end user to use it, it's going to be very hard. But if you get the publishers and you get the advertisers to use it, and it's going to be a bit more difficult at first because they're not used to it. So in essence, there still is a learning curve, right? And the reason being is people are used to a bank account and money being wired in there versus getting some sort of cryptocurrency. And for that reason, you're already going to have somewhat of a learning curve and a disadvantage to traditional channels like Google and Facebook. But the way that you get these both advertisers and publishers using it is you incentivize them. If you think about it, they're losing so much money. Like if you just look at publishers, one, they lose a lot of money to the middleman, right? The networks like Google, Facebook. Two, they don't get paid out right away. It can take someone, if they're using Google AdSense, you can get paid out months later, even affiliate programs, right? Three, you don't get to pick your advertisers and control what campaigns are running on your website as much as you would like. You look at the advertiser, one, the costs are very high because the middleman again. Two, you have a lot of rules set in place on what you can do and what you can't do. Instead, the publisher should be picking each rules because it's their website. And if you look at blockchain, the advertisers save money, publishers make more. It's a win-win. They'll be willing to take more time and energy to go and use blockchain technology, not just like KindAds. It could be any other ad platform out there.
So Neil highlighted a few of the problems in the traditional advertising ecosystem. Within KindAds, there are four primary players: users, publishers, advertisers, and app partners. In the current state of online advertising, users are barraged with annoying and irrelevant ads. Publishers are finding it increasingly difficult to make money from their internet traffic because they have no way of signaling to advertisers the true quality of a publisher's subscriber base. And there is no way for the advertiser to distinguish between publishers with a high-quality subscriber base and a low-quality subscriber base. Advertisers also can't access the most effective ad formats to scale into, with most advertisers being forced to rely on banner and display advertising. Finally, app partners who create new ways to advertise through, such as push notifications, face significant challenges and barriers to success. The biggest is reaching the point of adoption to where the tech becomes profitable. Kind Ads believes that they have the solution to the above-mentioned problems, and even more. The team believes alternate channels of advertising through push notifications and emails can help players in the ecosystem earn dramatically more income while annoying their users much less with intrusive ads.
You want to jump through the screen and punch me in the face. I understand that completely. But if you have the confidence in the market, like you did at 14K, if you just bought in to make a little bit of money and you don't give a crap about the tech, about Bitcoin, about blockchain, about cryptography, about anything, then maybe you're probably a little more pissed than everybody else. But if you got in, like a lot of people did, because they thought the technology behind cryptocurrency was revolutionary in some way, shape, or form, you've got to have the confidence that we're going to get back and surpass that in the long run, because if it's as good as we all think, we definitely will. So looking at this, if you look at, the peak obviously was at 20K. The through point of maximum financial opportunity is somewhere in the 6,000 to 6,600 range. I'm going to give it a range, which we just bounced off of a second ago. And I think we've actually found the true bottom, because you look at this market cycle, the disbelief, this rally will fail like the others, that was basically back when we were looking back here. People were very pessimistic. We'll say September, October. And I know some people like to start this chart right here and say we're going down to 5K. We haven't been there yet, but we would have fallen a lot faster down, and we would have found the bottom several times at 5K if that was the true bottom. So I think we found that at 6K, because you start that chart, it looks eerily similar right there. You're thinking this rally will fail, and then just like in the chart, you go for hope, optimism, belief, thrill, euphoria, and then the stages of depression, basically complacency, anxiety. And it actually comes out perfectly true. People were angry when we hit 6K. Who shorted it? Whose fault was it? Why did this happen? What manipulation was happening right now? And now it's like, screw it, who cares? All hope has basically been lost. The sentiment went from a lot of activity and anger to just like, I'm throwing this on the back burner until I actually see some life. And once it starts rallying, I guarantee you people are going to say, we're going back down. Don't worry about it. Screw it. Interesting, honestly, scenario that we're in right now. But buy, sell, or hodl, I'm either buy or hodl. If you've got some capital, even if it's $50 or $100, start, just gradually put a little bit in every 2 weeks. Take 5 to 10% of your paycheck and throw it in every 2 weeks. That's what, if you're looking to invest in cryptocurrency, that's what I would do. Just put it in Bitcoin or put it in Ethereum. Don't really screw around with altcoins. I'm not saying altcoins are bad. I'm just saying if you're looking to build a gradual portfolio, you've got to bankroll some Bitcoin first. That's my cardinal rule. 50% of your portfolio needs to be Bitcoin and Ethereum. Preferably in Bitcoin, because that's by far the most stable. I mean, you can see when the market fell, Bitcoin was by far the most stable. It fell 7 days, it's 8% in the last 7 days. Everything else other than Ripple, which was basically 10%, was 10% and over. So you could see it's the most stable when it falls. So that's why you've got to kind of use that as a hedge. But without getting too far down the rabbit hole, buy, sell, or hodl, definitely buy or hodl.
The analysis from Toshi Times, what we have here is the following situation, that you have one aspect, which is the hack, and it's all about CoinRail, and they had 37 million worth of cryptocurrency stolen last week. And so, it could be, but also this exchange is very small and not really significant. It could spread the FUD, that is for sure, because all of the mainstream outlets have covered this hack, and so this hack has gotten a lot of attention, that is for sure, no question about that. But at the same time, if you actually think about how big this exchange is, it's quite small. However, the issue is that you have, let's see if we can find Guardian here. Anyway, you see Guardian, Bloomberg, Wall Street Journal, everyone talking about it. Basically, spreading this news about the fact that cryptocurrencies are now yet again hacked and spreading this negative sentiment. So, could it be the reason? Maybe, but probably not. Then you have another news that namely that regulators in the US are launching a probe into possibility of price manipulation against 4 biggest exchanges. So people are like, is this the reason? Ivan, Is this the reason for the price drop? I mean, it could be, but probably not. I don't think that it is. I don't think this is the reason. I don't think this is the reason. Maybe small contributions, but I don't think this is the reason at all. But a bigger contributing factor seems to be emerging that the supply has, at least for the moment, overtaken demand. So now we're talking. I mean, guys, now we're talking reasons. And also, you see, you see Joseph Young on Twitter. You know, I like Joseph Young. Sometimes he has funny comments. Like now, Bitcoin fell because people sold and not enough people were willing to buy, not because of a small hike. You know, sometimes you hear these simple explanations. It could very well be the case that too many people want to sell and not enough people want to buy, and it is just the nature of the markets. No market goes upwards forever and no market goes downwards forever. And something that I really want to bring your attention to, whenever I see this kind of news, you know, markets are dropping, this is the biggest reason, guys. This is the biggest reason. You go to Google Trends and you search for Bitcoin and you realize that we're declining and we're declining and we're declining, and this really reflects the interest of people when it comes to Bitcoin, when it comes to searches, when it comes to actually Googling for Bitcoin. You see, it is a steady decline, and this is, in my view, the biggest reason for the current fall. Not the fact that you have a small exchange being hacked, not that you have regulators taking action, because everything has already happened. You know, hacks happen all the time. Regulators take action all the time. So I don't think that is the main reason for the fall. The main reason is just, you know, decreased interest. And you look at crypto in general, you see decreased interest. You look at, for example, Ethereum. And you see, you know, continuously decreased interest. And so that is the main reason. And of course, it also corresponds to this, that Bitcoin fell because people sold and not enough people were willing to buy. People are just not interested anymore when it comes to mainstream, when it comes to general public. Now, is this a good thing or a bad thing? For crypto in general, I would say it's a good thing, because now you can actually see what projects are good and what projects are bad. Because when you see everything just shooting up, everything going up 10% each and every day, it's impossible to know what is good, what is bad. Now, in a depressing market, you only have the serious players surviving. You only have the serious players still in the game, and it is a lot easier to see which project is good and which project is bad when you have this depressing bear market. But of course, this depressing bear market means that many people are kind of worried and they are losing a lot of money, and this is true for everyone in the cryptocurrency space. I don't think anyone in the cryptocurrency space were able, you know, to time the prices exactly. If you look at the charts, I don't think anyone in the crypto space just, you know, realized this and then sold all Bitcoin up here. Probably not. And I think majority of people are losing money in the crypto space currently. But that is just the nature of the game. That is just the nature of the game that we're playing. Namely, that the markets are volatile. Everyone knew this from day one. Markets are extremely fragile. Everyone knew this from day one. And I mean, you're not alone for sure if this is the case with you. I think everyone is losing money currently. But also, it is all about long-term vision, as we talked about many times, and I'm sure all of you guys know this, that if you are here for the short term, no one knows how it can go. I mean, it can go to 2,000, 1,000. That is the thing. You see Tone Ways coming out saying it can go to 1,000, but now he's kind of more bullish. So we will see his predictions. But guys, you've asked me for my opinion, and this is my opinion. You know, just look at the Google searches. Look at the Google searches. That is what I'm looking at. And here you definitely saw some strong signals. I mean, whenever you see the spike, you definitely see strong signals. And it's up to you to realize, is this connected to the price or not? Many people might say, this is not connected to the price, because the price comes before the sentiment. And it might very well be the case that this chart is just following the price and not vice versa. However, just, you know, by looking at the steepness and kind of, if we zoom in here, I mean, for me, it seems that this chart is falling much quicker than this chart. So maybe it is the case that the sentiment is driving the price, but all in all, it is definitely unclear exactly the relationship, which one is leading which. Is the interest affecting the price and then the price also decreases, or the price affects interest? Maybe it's a combination. But anyway, you know that I'm looking at this data, and whenever it comes to some kind of issue, whenever it comes to something that requires insight, I'm trying to find something that has a lot of data. And Google, they have a lot of data. Think what you want about Google. One thing they have is a lot of data. So when it comes to what people are searching, what people are interested in, and what people are looking for on a daily basis, Google is to-go place for that, and therefore I think you should be using Google in your day-to-day crypto life.
As for my opinion, and kind ads, chain, I get 57%. Must have been Suppoman pumping it up. See on any. It's on Hodl as well as Adex. Maybe I should get some on Adex. Not now though. Whoa! You see that? If you buy it on Adex, you sell it on Hodl. Work out. It's almost, yeah, you'll make double. No, you'll. Okay. 7. I'm not off. That's 135% arbitrage there. Buy it there and go sell it there. For kind ads, I don't know where I stand with it. It's better than basic attention total. Using it as a publisher, I have developed an app before where I put ads in it. Instead of using Google, it'll be a huge selling point. I mean, if you get your tokens directly and not wait 2-3 months, it'll get all the companies using it instead of Google. Although Google is more trustworthy. Say you get 10, 12, let's say you get 200 kind tokens and a crash like this happens, you lose all your money. At least here, you get USD, it's safe. $1 is $1. And one kind token can vary as much as 10-20% a day, depending on the news. Most people just want to take it. They're not investors that will speculate, hold it. They need to pay their employees. Until this market matures, we're not going to see adoption in that space. That's my opinion. As for using it as a currency, we also need one with inflation. You can't get deflationary because no one wants to spend deflationary because you'll get more value. If you have a currency losing value, you'll be more willing to spend it instead of holding it and losing value because the circulating supply is getting more and more. That's my opinion. But Bitcoin and Ethereum, I think, for Bitcoin at least, it's going to be a store of value, more like digital gold instead of currency you use. And a whole Lightning network figures out scaling. Kind of working like Visa. If you want a video about it, drop a link down below. As for the airdrop for today, it's the Ethos wallet. They're doing a pre-registration for the universal wallet. There has been beta testing that no Suppoman has the app. It's not a fake. As for the airdrop partner, there's a Polymath was the new one. Isega, Bitcoin. As for the rest, I'm not too sure. But I registered for. I think it's a good project. Not that I'm going to invest in it. If their wallet's nice, maybe I'll invest. But I think there's better projects, more games. So Ethereum, After this whole crash, it's kind of stable. Sort of stable. If I can open up a position, I wouldn't make a trade on it at all. Yeah, EOS, favorite coin. Still around the spots. I've got to buy all that around $8. I'll just have to wait and see. That'll be the airdrop of the day. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. I steam it. And like, comment, subscribe if you